Going to church with CW. We spellbind like the Annunciation. You amble over to your cane, favor the leg that threatens to surrender. I shuffle over to the cordless phone to peek at the red recharge indicator. Two cantankerous supplicants, we head for a New England church, wooden and white. An 80-ish white woman with her companion, a 30-ish black man with his diva. We slip through the wet grass to worship. Down the road, Jesus, down the road to joy. Shadows of the congregations of leaves whip over the car like a lover's wine. You ask me about the book I managed barely to write, slowly with pain. You resurrect again your Radcliffe degree in literature, your fondness for Victorian fiction. I remind you of your rude impertinence, how worship learns out our duty to be meditated, to acknowledge the splendor of the sun's confident slide over the mountains, of the minute splash of butterflies in the stream. I come, Lord, come this way to please you. We waddle into the temple, floors creak, heads turn, eyes spin, and mouths drop as we go to the front pew. You fix your eyes on your almost century of life, from the roads, the dirt roads before the car, to the unmarked highway that leads to the moon. I wonder how long I can stay in your grace, how the separation will wait one sad day, how we will find excuses to hurt each other. Through the benediction and the hush, we walk together outside, an unusual machine, turning on the pistons of forgiveness and curiosity. Halfway home, we stop at a store for ice cream. You blink quickly over the dashboard. I pay for our diversion. The clouds suggest a thunder far away and above us, like the noise from flesh's integration as our hearts circle one another and join. The wind sticks wet lips to us as we drive home through the squeak and creak of the colonial farmhouse. Up the winding path, along the stone wall, hold my hand, Father, hold my hand when I die. Tsunami. Do not rush to know the difference, as that will be a door too large for those who rush. Take instead the slow touch of bamboo. Come each morning to the same tree and rub it slowly the way you would rub a limb of your own. Know that you may lose it to a surgeon's knife and touch every thin line. Feel the color of a single shaft of the thing, the way you would put the smallest places on a finger. Put your lips against the leaves the way you would kiss the hair on your own arms. Embrace it with all of you and promise to keep the farmer's axe away. Promise to shoo away the poison air of the cities. Ask the earth to bless the children that are bamboo. Come at night and wait for the bamboo to sing in the wind. Wait until the song comes, until hunger makes you angry. Think of the lines of bamboo, how they shoot up and then bend with their accomplishment. This may take more years than you have, or you may press the bamboo into a heartless sphere of its own beauty. If so, start again, more slowly this time. After each step, pray for the children who went back into the sea without enough time to learn the songs of bamboo or to remember. And I have this picture of myself when I was an infant. Somebody took it and I snatched it out of Michelle's box when she wasn't looking one day. And I'm sitting up in the crib, and it's the biggest head I've ever seen on the head. Oh my God, did I scare my parents? Like an old man's head sitting on a tiny little body. But very often traveling in Chinese culture, I was the only black person around. Not always, but very often. Hong Kong, there are quite a few Africans living there, but very often I was the only black person, and the only black person living in my neighborhoods when I was studying Chinese. And this poem is written in response to Langston Hughes' theme for English B, and it's entitled Theme for Intermediate Chinese. Teacher recites, copying her words, taping the class so I can listen at home. Make sentences, she says, one for every word. And I count them in Chinese, building the tones from memories. A child of the 50s, it is the time of my 50s, when I rub my hair and touch only the wrinkly skin that has forgotten hair. I count days as gifts now. Homework is a gift, and this small flat, 12,000 miles away, on the other side of forgetting and remembering. I take the MRT subway to my neighborhood, walk past a lady who was not so nice, to the faces that warm and brighten when I pass, through the park of children, slides, swings, and old women under the trees, across the tiles of a walkway to my building to press my security key to the elevator, kiss it softly to say, it's me again, as if the key doesn't know the only black man in the neighborhood. War is the word for I, and it sounds like woe's sadness, or woe, the sound to stop the worrying of things. I practice it writing over and over, rolling on the sound of the elevator train going by, where everyone knows I is me. I meditate on a congregation of genes and wishes that brought me here, counting back the 4 generations to the first African, naming along the way the Native Americans, Europeans, the polka dot army of chromosomes and molecules, like tiny spaceships, that align themselves with mystic glue so that I am the same mystery each day and do not dissolve into a blob in the midst of Taipei's rush to go and buy things, as I recite alone to myself the Chinese were going and buying. What have I bought in this place where only the inside can matter and the outside is so many things to so many, and who are we? The Chinese sentence for this takes me all night into the slide of constellations over night markets and the humid cling of music to silence. We are genes, we are the art of the mind of some great emptiness above, or here below, inside the bulb of a beat, things that grow underground and thrive on darkness, the humble fullness of light. Many thousands gone. Baby creation came as God cried, the tears, the violent origin of ego. The doubling, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 8, 64, software and apocalypse, our false divinity, so that death is the oneness, 3, 5, 7, numbers knowing themselves as one, life blossoming to thinness, invisibility away from the balcony, the rifle cracking the peace of gazing out on the day with your plans, then the lifting back into the place where there is nothing, where oneness relieves itself of thinking. In the midst of 1 and 2, there is the dream you dreamed of the end of perfection, how the sacred wisdom is realizing we cannot fix anything, not even our eyes on the first moments of a morning, the cakewalk of wasp to whippoorwill, the bliss of an old blind dog finding his way to his food, the southern way of studying a soul, an epiphany Martin Luther could not invoke with his prayers, enraged by the valley of chestnuts, and Tetzel with his indulgences, enraged into a pious madness. A new culling of the imperfect away from us, wishing death on Abraham and Sarah's children. You saw this too, pulling away from earth, from the doubling, 1 for the moon, 1 for the sun, your heart and mind now one flying away over everything we know, connecting masses, stars and galaxies, now the one light that knows this world is mist and fog, the simple longing.